Hi, I'm Raven, and this is Raven Spills the Tea. And let's get into Ezra Miller and his scary, sordid history with women. And so let's start off with putting profit over what's morally right. Mother of mother, Native American mother, 18, groomed and brainwashed by Ezra Miller, slams Warner Brothers for refusing to fire the actor from upcoming $200 million blockbuster, The Flash. That's right. The mom of an 18-year-old Native American woman trafficked, brainwashed by Ezra Miller, has accused Warner Brothers of putting profits before morals for not firing the actor. Sarah Jumping Eagle blasted the movie Giant as she and lawyer husband Chase Iron Eyes continue their battle to get missing daughter Takoa to a safe place and away from the scandal hit actor's influence. The desperately worried parents are pressing ahead with a court bid for a protective order against Miller, in which they allege the star groomed their activist daughter before plying her with hard drugs, assaulting her, and controlling her life. Since the action was launched against the 29-year-old actor, who identifies as non binary and uses the words they and their pronouns in June, there's a host of other incidents with other women that are now being uncovered and revealed. Ooh, these include choking one outside of a bar in Iceland and menacing another in Berlin who called police on Miller. They were also arrested twice in Hawaii earlier this year for second degree assault and disorderly conduct and harassment. Jumping Eagle, a podiatrist who graduated from Stanford Medical School, told outlets in an exclusive interview that the star has a defined pattern of disturbing behavior against women that studio bosses have taken too long to recognize. We want to speak to Warner Brothers about Ezra, and we want to hold them accountable. I know that initially they may not have been aware of Ezra's issues. However, if they are aware that one of the people they employ is assaulting people and this person is having significant issues that are causing harm to others, but they are willing to ignore that to continue with the production of the film, then it's obvious they are putting profit over what is normally right thing to do. Miller has been reportedly dropped from future superhero DC Universe projects due to the escalating controversies surrounding him. But there is no word that he will lose that role as the Flash, which is due out next year and also stars Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. Ben, what are you doing in a movie with a guy who's abusing women out here? What is going on? And Michael Keaton, this is not the comeback you want to be associated with. I think you would rather be associated with, Batgirl. Does Warner Brothers want a legacy wherein they have profited from a person who is basically a predator? Warner Brothers is potentially also taking advantage of someone such as Ezra with mental issues and substance abuse issues. The anguished mother, using an affectionate family term for her daughter, also told the outlet, I also like to say directly to my daughter, I miss you, Bing Bong. One of the brothers did not immediately reply to a request for comment. Jumping Eagle, who's 50, says her and her husband still have no idea where their daughter is after last seeing her in a harrowing street encounter in Santa Monica, California on May 29th when she fled with Miller. But they are convinced that their daughter is still heavily under the influence of the star. July 12th hearing of their petition for protection order at Standing Rock Tribal Court in North Dakota ruled it can continue, but further details cannot be made public because of its the sensitivity and the sensitivity with the family nature. The parents' lawsuit was filed in June, and in paperwork previously published, the couple alleged Miller is currently physically and emotionally abusing their daughter, who's only 18 years old, psychologically manipulating, physically intimidating, and endangering her safety as well as welfare. This is, well, this is crazy. He has been grooming this girl since 2016 when she was only 12 years old. They also allege that Miller uses violence, intimidation, threats of violence, fear, and paranoia, delusion, and drugs to hold sway over the young adolescent. Miller is also accused in legal papers of trying to sleep with and sleep in the same bed as Tokata on a trip to London when she was only 14 years old. And eventually, he did have intimacy with her earlier this year to cure his self-confessed uh, sex addiction. Oh my gosh. Oh Jesus. The daughter, who has said on social media that she does not have a phone, has now called her mother to demand her parents stop the court action. She called to tell us to stop moving forward with the court proceedings. She was mad at us about the case and wanted us to stop. And then when I told her we weren't going to stop, especially regarding the fact that Ezra Miller assaulted their daughter, that Ezra needs to be held accountable for continuing to hurt people, the daughter became very upset. The conversation lasted about 5 minutes. She wasn't crying. It was cussing at me, calling me names. You can F off, that kind of thing. She was shouting. She was mainly talking to her father at first, and I chimed in. I did tell her that we love her, that we care, and that we are concerned about her safety, but also that Ezra continues to hurt people. It was unsettling, a very unsettling, upsetting call to me. At the time, I was thinking, this isn't my child talking to me. This isn't how my child has ever talked to me before. Their daughter never cursed at me or talked to me in that manner. The daughter has attacked her parents on social media. One post on Instagram read, there are countless murderers and missing indigenous people. I am not one of them. Hashtag MMIGT2S is a real and ongoing crisis. Therefore, I wish to recognize the severity of this information about my life and experience. She's added she added, referring to a movement called Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls to Spirit. However, Jumping Eagle told outlets, when my daughter posted something saying she's not missing, as far as we are concerned, she is missing. My response is that while she's still in control of someone who is manipulating and coercing her, and that she has not been in close contact with her close family and friends, then she is still considered missing. We don't know her wherabouts. Closest friends don't know her whereabouts. Only person that does is Ezra Miller. If you see somebody you love that has been assaulted and has been coerced and drugged up, you cannot stand and do nothing. This is why we are still pursuing and trying whatever we can do to get our daughters back to safety. And out of a person who has their own mental illnesses and issues. Whew, this is so much. You know, not only is he I have has this case where the parents are trying to get their 18-year-old daughter back that he's been messing around with since she was 12 years old, which is disgusting, Warner Brothers. But now Ezra Miller, accused of burglary, allegedly stole booze from a Vermont home. That's right, Ezra Miller has been accused of burglarizing a home in Vermont. And police say the whole thing had to do with some stolen bottles of alcohol. According to a Vermont state police, someone lodged a burglary complaint regarding a home in Stanford at the beginning of May. Cops investigated and said several bottles of alcohol were reported missing from the place while the homeowners were out. After reviewing surveillance videos and statements, Ezra was charged with felony burglary into an unoccupied dwelling. Ezra was finally found on Sunday night and ordered to appear in Vermont Supreme Court. Bennington Criminal Division for their arraignment towards the end of September. As you know, Ezra been in a ton of legal trouble in the past year. Body cam footage from the incident in March on the Big Island appeared to show Ezra getting aggressive with the cops while being handcuffed. This man right here. So, April of 2020, Miller was on video in Iceland, allegedly choking out a woman and throwing her to the ground. The woman appeared to approach Miller in a jokingly aggressive way, to which Miller responded, "Oh, you want to fight?" before grabbing her by the throat, throwing her to the ground. No charges were filed. Then in January, and now deleted Instagram video, Miller addressed members of a racist group, telling them to go, murk themselves. Well, we'll do it for you if that's what you want. Then in March of 2020, Miller was arrested in Hawaii and charged with disorderly conduct and harassment after an outburst at a bar. According to media released by Hawaii Police Department, Miller was arrested and charged on both offenses, and total bail was only set at 500. They provided the bail and he was released. Miller reportedly repeatedly corrected police officers for misgendering him. June of 2020, Variety ran an interview with a woman named Nina, who alleged that in February of 2020, Miller, with whom she had previously had a consensual relationship with, refused to leave her home despite her asking numerous times, leading her to file a criminal complaint. The same month, Chase Iron Eagle filed his complaint about his daughter being missing and being held by Miller. Whew. So when law enforcement was unable to locate Miller to serve papers to him, the actor taunted the police on Instagram on June 16 before deleting that account. Among the now deleted messages, Miller says, I am shielded from negative people and their ill intent. My spirit, mind, body, soul, and success are not altered by anyone's envy. I am protected from all negative energy people attempt to throw at me. Subconsciously and consciously, I clear any and all hidden peers who are hidden enemies. Sounds like somebody's practicing a little, you know what? Little, because that sounds like a spell or some affirmation to prevent any ill or evil eye directed towards him. So somebody is clearly dabbling in the magic realm. Oh, yes. So, y'all, what do y'all think about all of this right here with this man, Ezra Miller? I mean, this seems like a lot. I mean, Ezra Miller was presented a 200 million the issue, a thing from Warner Brothers, like the budget for the Flash, which stars Miller as a spandex-clad superhero, set for release next summer, is DC's Comics' big roll of the dice against Disney's world-conquering Marvel movies, such as the Avengers series and Spider-Man. And there's just one problem. Their lead actor has been involved in a string of controversies, from hosting a woman and her children on a Vermont farm where reports have said guns are lying around, to two recent arrests in Hawaii. So they chose this new, the person in charge of Discovery, who is now in charge of HBO Max, I guess you could say, has made the decision to pull Batgirl, which would have been DC's. I think it'd have been a movie that could have made at least $500 million. They are choosing to go with the Flash and this dude who's been grooming a girl since she was 12 years old and has a history of putting hands on women. Instead of going the route of diversity and actually opening up HBO and to a wider audience, a Hispanic audience, because she is the first, she would be the first Afro Latino superhero star. But they chose instead to go with, they canned the 90 million movie. Instead, they wanted to go, instead of canning, and well, they canned that 90 million movie to go with this $200 million movie with this super, and I mean super problematic man who's had just has problems after problems after problem. Like seriously, the first on March 27 came at a dive bar when, according to police, Miller yanked a microphone from a woman singing karaoke. Police got involved when an irate Miller then yelled obscenities and allegedly lunged at a man playing darts. The second came a month later when Miller was asked to leave a gathering and threw a chair, hitting a woman and leaving her with a half-inch gash on her forehead, police says. A couple then filed a restraining order against the actor later that night after Miller allegedly burst into their bedroom and threatened to bury them. In just 3 weeks, Miller was the subject of 10 police calls in the sleepy town of Hawaii, Hilo, Hawaii. 10 police calls. Not long ago, Miller was the darling of indie cinema thanks to the roles of After School and We Need to Talk About Kevin, before scoring franchise stardom in the J.K. Rowling penned Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, as well as the DC universe. But they harassed and pressured J.K. Rowling to get rid of Johnny Depp, but instead they kept problematic Ezra Miller. What the is going on with these production companies? They were also positioned as a champion of the LGBTQ community, coming out as queer in 2012, and then he changed it from queer to non-binary in 2018, stating, "I don't identify as a man, I don't identify as a woman, and I barely identify as a human." Okay. The Flash was all set to make Miller the first queer actor to lead a superhero movie, but all of that now is in jeopardy. Now, outlets are saying Warner Brothers has tried to get help for Miller, but at this stage, it seems unlikely that he will be kept on for future projects. And he isn't going to be in any future projects. This is, after all, the same studio that dropped Johnny Depp after his unsuccessful UK lawsuit against The Sun. So Warner Brothers, this is not looking good for y'all. Really, it's not. Warner Brothers is picking and choosing, and they're picking and choosing the wrong things here. Johnny, he won his case. Y'all should, next J.K. Rowling's movie, if there's another one, he should be included in it. He won his case. Um, Batgirl movie, another movie that should be put out. But this movie that you got with the Flash, that nobody wants to see a dude that been grooming, a girl since she was 12 years old and is now keeping her away from her family. He's been accused of what? Breaking into someone's bedroom and threatening to bury them. What are you doing, Warner Brothers? Y'all, all of y'all who are DC fans, comic book fans, all of y'all that are movie fans, all of y'all are against certain things like men grooming children. Now I need to protest against this because this is ridiculous right here. This is just too. Ugh, this is too much. But I see here what the problem is. Ezra Miller was born to a wealthy family in New Jersey in 1992. Miller's father was a successful publisher and their mother a dancer. To overcome a childhood stutter, Miller began singing opera, debuting in the New York premiere of Philip Glass White Raven at the Lincoln Center in 2001. Yet Miller was also subject to homophobic bullying in high school. I was just trying to kiss the boys in school, Miller told Out in 2012. I went from having a stutter to being a total gay little opera singer to being like a really confused queer adolescent. Miller dropped out of high school at age 16, not because of bullying, but because of Beethoven. The actor told the New York Magazine that the composer came to them in a dream. He was crying, he said. The four sympathies I've written are no good. They're just like not enough. And I was like, you wrote five more. Keep going. And I woke up in a cold sweat and I was like, I need to drop out of school. So clearly, even at 16, Homeboy was not wrapped too tight. So it wasn't a total leap of faith. Miller had already appeared in a number of TV shorts and in 2008 made his first big screen appearance in Antonio's director debut after school. It fed neatly into his role in Euphoria. Creator Sam Levinson, Livingston, first, Another Happy Day in 2001, in which Miller played Ellen Birkin, arrogant teenage son. Miller turned up late to meet, oh my gosh, my back, Sam, when he was casting the movie and demanded to sit outside so he could smoke. I thought, what the F? What a effing prick. He's perfect for the film. So, yeah, this is, oh my gosh. It's just a lot. Okay, it's just a lot. So let's just get into it. It was confusing but not overly concerning. That was until 2020 when a video surfaced on Twitter that appeared to show Miller choking a woman in a bar. I think it's just fun and games, but then it wasn't. The woman, who remained anonymous, recently told outlets after keeping silent for 2 years. No charges were ever brought against the actor. Miller never publicly commented on the incident. Then at the beginning of the year, Miller went on social media aimed at what he called bullying, trying to get a certain race group in North Carolina to kill themselves. This, the Southern Poverty Law Center, a civil rights organization, then monitored hate groups, said that it wasn't aware of any activity in that area. Then the incidents with Hawaii came. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And June, the German woman who also alleged that Miller had harassed her after refusing to leave her apartment in Berlin, in February 2022. She claims Miller became irate after she told him they couldn't smoke in her home. The actor was convinced to leave only after she called the police. A week earlier, June 23rd, allegedly, that Miller Vermont farm, where he has been hosting another mother and her three children, has guns and bullets lying around. One of the children, only age 1 year old, allegedly put a stray bullet in her mouth. A source close to Miller told Variety that the star hopes to address the allegations against them at some point, but they have chosen to privately focus on his health and healing instead first. Y'all, it's a lot with this dude right here. Y'all comment below and tell me what y'all think because this is just way too much. He is super problematic and he might need a lot of help. On that note, I'm out. Wow.